I didn't do any swearing, so that's...
let's get it out now. Fuck, shit. Okay. No.
Good luck.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lat Mackey, and this is Sequence Break, episode 35. Sven, did I pronounce that correctly? Let me just ask that first.
Yeah, my father is Sven, but it's called Svenne.
Sven,
like,
okay.
But everybody called me Sven, so it doesn't matter, to be honest.
I was watching some of the ESA runs that the people who can speak properly and know how to say it, they actually, I wanted to add that, but I just don't feel like I have the the ability to do so properly.
Like, everybody outside of Sweden doesn't pronounce that, so they just say Sven because they understand that, at least.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and joining. For those of you trying to get, so Sven is, I'm just gonna say Sven because I'm gonna screw it up if I don't say it otherwise. He's in Sweden, I'm in Southern California, and so I cannot figure out time changes to save my life. So it's about midnight here where I'm at. It's just turned morning where he's at. So
yeah, 9 in the morning. So
9 in the morning, okay. But we're making this work, and I appreciate everyone's patience and stuff as we get through this. We are gonna take a little trip down memory lane. For those of you who aren't familiar with Sven, when's the first speedrun you ever did? Like, you've been around forever doing this.
First speedrun I did was like in late 2011 in Super Mario Bros. 2. I got a really good help by Andrew G. And then I got the world record. Like, in those days, it was so hard to find like the right times. Like, there was Japanese runners that had like a different leaderboard, and SDA had another leaderboard. So Andrew G had like 9:15, and Manbu, the Japanese player, had 9:14. I got 9:11. But then Andrew G, after like 2 weeks, got like an 8:58 or something. So he beat my time, like big time. So that's how I started out, at least. And then I played some of the games like Tailspin and Robin Hood and mostly NES games.
Awesome. Well, we're going to kind of touch upon a lot of that as we go through this here. So folks, get comfortable and let's take a trip. So let's talk a little bit about you here and kind of get your story a little bit. What's kind of your history? So I'm not familiar with, I assume NES, or what were the popular consoles growing up as a kid in Sweden? And then what were the games that you were interested in?
NES was the biggest one because it was like the Swedish stores that brought Nintendo to Europe. So we have always had like a good relationship with Nintendo. It's like Disney owns Christmas, but everything entertainment Nintendo owns pretty much in Sweden. So that's why you're gonna see like Bear Bricks and everybody like in our generation is gonna like be in NES all the way.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so in the States, Nintendo still dominates. It's like, we have all these other consoles nowadays, but as Nintendo has been, if you're my age, I'm 38. If you're anywhere around my age, Nintendo is what you grew up with,
For sure.
Very cool. What were some of the games that you were into? Like, what did you like playing growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I guess it like Super Mario Bros. 3. Sorry, the coffee went in the wrong thingy.
No worries.
Yeah, I guess Super Mario Bros. 3 was a big one. And Zelda 2 was like larger than Zelda 1 in Sweden for some reason. I don't know why.
Wow.
But mostly NES stuff, Super Nintendo, and N64. So it's Nintendo all the way until like PCs became available for the general public.
I think I'm right there with you. When I think about like my favorite games of all time, Super Mario Brothers 3, I think it just, for me, it hit me right at the right time in my life. It was the first game I ever speedrun, and it was. I don't know if it's this way in Sweden, but in the States, that was like one of our first blockbuster games. Like, there was so much hype around it. It had a movie, like it had all this craziness and hype built up into it with Nintendo Power and everything. Oh
dear God, yeah, we had all the cartoons was translated in Swedish, and we had everything. We had like the Zelda cartoon, we had the Captain N, I guess it's called, and we had the Mario cartoons. We had everything here as well, and even like the, what do you call it, like the cereals, I think it's called, those stuff. We remember those?
Yeah.
Like the
absolutely.
Nintendo thingies. We had those as well, I think. So we had everything, pretty much. Yeah.
Awesome.
So Nintendo was like almost like a religion, pretty much, in Sweden. At least for the kids, at least, in my generation.
I'm curious. So, in the States, I wasn't familiar with the Super Mario Brothers 2, the Japanese version of the game, until I was an adult, like way later on in life. And I'm curious, did you guys have access, or did you personally have access to the Japanese Super Mario Brothers 2? Because I know it's a game you speedrun very well.
No, we got to know it as the lost levels from the All-Stars
right,
Super Nintendo
exactly.
cartridge.
Okay.
So we didn't know. We didn't know that it was like the real Mario 2 or whatever you call it, and we didn't know that the Mario 2 USA was like a clone of Doki Doki Panic. So we didn't know. I didn't know until I was 16, pretty much. You know, when we get you get the internet access and you can look this stuff up.
Right.
No, before that we didn't know anything.
Yeah, right. Thankfully, the internet comes around and we can, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah.
No, I mean that's really that's awesome. That's you know that's that. I'm glad to hear that it's similar, even though we're thousands of miles away. They're similar, sure. Same experiences and stuff like that. Can you remember back, like maybe we were just talking about it. When did you had you experienced or seen any form of speedrunning before you had tried it yourself?
Oh yeah, it was like in the early like 2007, 2008. My friends, they kind of dropped out of school and played Diablo 2, and then went to World of Warcraft. And in the background, on a big CRT, there was always like speedruns, like way back then. So that's why, I remember like 2008 or something. This guy from Skövde, my hometown, like Fresman, he's doing speedruns. And everybody was like, me and Pro G and was friends back then, even before we started speedrunning. They were like, interesting, but we didn't have like big notice or anything about it. So that's like the first time that I knew that speedrunning was a thing, like beating games as fast as possible, like in 2008, like after high school.
It still blows my mind that like that you got experience to that, because you know, thankfully the internet's around and everything like that. But I mean, this isn't the kind of thing. I mean, the Super Mario Brothers 3 task got shared around. We didn't know it was a task at the time, but that's like the first one, right? So that's when I kind of think of like some of my earlier memories of it, but I wasn't aware that people were doing this kind of thing and recording their playthroughs and everything. You know, that's kind of crazy to me.
So do they see this picture here?
Yeah, they can see
that. Freshman is in the front row, and I'm in the middle in the back.
I can see it.
So it's kind of like we were like politicians, whatever, for the youth in Skövde.
Oh, cool.
Already back then, he was like he had started speedrunning. I didn't know what it was, so we never knew each other until like 2010. But this picture, I remember I saved it from the newspaper because it was like a big thing that the youth had influence over politicians. We didn't have it. It was just like a thing, just to show off that they care, they really don't. So this like, I love this picture because you can see him in the front and me in the back. So we didn't know each other at this time, but yeah,
that's so crazy.
We got to know each other later. So
I mean, so is this? I'm trying to figure out like age range. Are you teenagers here, or is this after primary school?
At this moment, we were like, I guess he's like 2 years younger than me, so he was 16 and I was 18.
Oh, nice! So cool.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
For those who aren't familiar,
it was like it was a real election, so all the youth had to like put a vote in, and I got the next most votes in my school, like the biggest school, and he was in another school, but yeah.
If you're not familiar, and you've ever seen some of the first games done quick ever, the classic games done quick, Frezzy Man is all over it.
Yeah, he did like 15 rounds or something.
Oh my god.
So I think there was like 2 foreigners. There was one from Australia and one from Europe, and he was the one from Europe. He went there like in 2010 in Mikeyama's basement. Yeah. So even back then, you know, he was around, and he was the GOAT. Like between 0 and 2010, he was the GOAT. He was like the one who optimized speedruns to a point that no one did at that time. Of course, we had Mikeyama, you had the Hotarubi. Those are the 3 big ones. So if you ever have like a Hall of Fame speedrunning, those 3 are going to be the first introductions for sure. Those 3 guys, and then after that, I don't know. Like
I gotta say, like how often
those 3 are the most important ones, because the Americans are the biggest ones, and the Japanese and the Swedes. We are the 3 biggest ones in speedrunning.
Do you think that,
you know why? You know why?
You think it's because I mean I'm curious like why you think it's become. I mean there are so many good speedrunners from that area. I mean is there something like is it because of Frezzy, or is it? I mean, you know,
not only because of Frezzy. Frezzy like inspired us when we started out. But then we had like other people, like Cool Kid. He was like on the other side of stuff. Then we had other people. So this like NES speedrunning was really big, and then 3D Zeldas are like the biggest things in Sweden when it comes to speedrunning. Like I think we have like most of the world records in 3D Zeldas, from Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time, or we used to have at least. So it's like a combination of stuff. But it's all Nintendo at least. So Nintendo.
Right. No, but I mean, these are the games. I mean, let's be honest. Some of the most popular speedruns are done on Nintendo 64, all those kind of things, And there's a reason these games are popular. These are games that we grew up with that we really enjoyed, and so I think that's really cool that there was, there's this culture that this has popped up. I mean, you guys, the fact that you're all friends too, even before Twitch is around and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we hang out like a couple years before we started streaming, at least.
Okay, so we're going to scroll down here. We're going to start moving through some of these and just kind of, if you take us through a little.
So the guy closest here is Krippe. He went to my class in the university for 3 years.
Nice.
Like I guess he's a kind of well-known speedrunner. And otherwise the blonde guy in the far back with the classic gamer shirt or whatever it's called. And of course you see the NS games. Actually, we came up with the idea for ESA in this room here at the university. So it's really nice. And we also did the first schedule, me and Arva and Tompa, like the Tasser.
Yeah,
Tompa. We made the first, So we three sat there and made the first schedule in that room as well. So he has like a bed up there and a sofa down there. And it was like a super small apartment. But you have to do what you do.
Tompa's knowledge of Super Mario Bros. 3 and a lot of games, but Mario 3 specifically is just like ridiculous. I've never met anybody who knows the game that well.
I heard Fress in him started speedrunning, but Tompa, he was, I don't know, he wasn't good enough, so he started tassing at least. It was Fressy said, not me. Fressy said that. But it's probably a joke, but who knows?
No, totally. I mean, and we've had taskers on the podcast, and it's like there's a different mindset in tasking a game as opposed to the RTA side of it.
Tasking is a whole nother word. Like what you do before actually, it matters what you do afterwards and all that stuff, like numbers and all. It's not my thing. Like I tried tasking for 2 months, and I'm never gonna do that again.
It's definitely, you gotta have the right mindset for it.
Oh yeah.
I love this photo too because you mentioned this is looks like it's around 2009 or so, and
for sure.
The PlayStation 2. I mean, this is actually after an N64. This is probably GameCube, Wii era, and you guys are all playing there.
He got the first Xbox over there, I think. If I'm not
really?
mistaken,
nice.
Yeah.
But all these new consoles, and you guys are playing NES games. I freaking love it.
Of
That's
course.
awesome.
Yeah, we were kind of weird or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, you were getting into the thing. This is what you're doing.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh yeah, here's the classic clip. Okay, we got to watch this one because this one is actually pretty funny. So around 2010, this is the clip a lot of you may know from 2010, where let's see if I can. Oh yeah, he does it right at the beginning.
Yep.
Are we ready?
Are we ready?
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you have seen this, but it's too fun.
Yeah. I have an awesome voice. Well, thank you, I guess. That's the kind of thing I do.
This just blows my mind still that he flew, thousands of miles to somebody's basement because of, the marathon had been changed locations and everything. And
if you love speedrunning, you do what you want to do.
For real.
All right, are we ready now?
Oh, I think they're ready.
All right.
Let's try Hex in the background.
We had like a
he was back then. He was there always.
If we got $100 for charity, then I should do this run shirtless. So what I'm going to do now is taking off my shirt. Shirtless dress.
There you go.
No, he's supposed to tear down the shirt. So I had like a timestamp.
Oh, man.
If you go there,
in
the like 18:15 into the run, I would.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't there a shirt rip at this point? 18:15. Here we go. Okay. Coming up. Okay.
We found Super C. Okay, for shirtless Super C, we need $20.
Oh, there. Oh.
Yeah, it's about coming up against the donation. There we go.
And people like Caleb and Price started doing that in other marathons, but he was the first one who did it.
I think it's one of those classic moments. Somebody Solid has been on the podcast, and he's talked. I think I've seen. I think Fressy showed up at least 2 or 3 times in different Somebody Solid World Rash because he was the first. He was the first time a lot of us saw some of these runs. So.
Yep.
Okay, so here's something that I think is an interesting part of the conversation, if you don't mind going. So you've been responsible for a lot of, or at least you've been a part of a lot of this organization or this coming together, this community that's happening in Sweden. And first of all, why did you get involved on that? It's like, why did it interest you to start, getting people together to do some of these things and to really get together and speedrun and stuff?
I mean, all of us had like a shared passion of gaming, and with Fresno and everything, like in our city or the cities around us, like there's a lot of speedrunners that we didn't know about, like Cot Power and those guys that had been had world record in old school, I guess, Mario Kart Wii and stuff. So it's all went together at the end. But Ludendi, like the gaming community, was like a thing that was really nice. Like they had different tournaments. They had like fighting games tournaments and speedrunning and all that good stuff. So if you like gaming, there's a lot of different kinds of gaming. So you could just go there and hang out. And during the university, we went there like most people. There's a lot of people I know in that picture over there.
This was pretty cool. So for those of you that are listening on the podcast, this is where there's a picture of during AGDQ 2011. This is Sven and his crew watching the GDQ marathon from, was this somewhere on campus or something, or?
Oh no, this is like in the City of Culture or something.
Oh, cool. Okay, so but it's still like it's obvious it's not at somebody's house. Like you guys, there's a lot of people still watching here. That's really cool.
It's someone in the back that is the biggest arcade collector in all of Sweden now.
Oh,
to
wow.
the left there, but whatever. I'm not going to talk about him. But you know, it's like 11 years ago. But we all know each other still, and we hang out from time to time. Oh.
I also think it was great that you're getting together and experiencing speedrunning in a different form. I mean, you guys are watching it and obviously playing games and stuff like that. You know, I didn't see my first GDQ until 2015 or whatever. So this is the thing is still very small at this time. So the fact there's this many of you getting into it and supporting it, I think is really cool. Yeah,
man. We even skipped classes to watch like, and we started donating under like the name Rygert just for that was our group's name like at the university. So.
And if you're here in the States and you're watching you're at the event or you're watching the event, you know, you nowadays the numbers never dip. There's always hundreds of thousands of people watching the thing, and this is the reason, because people when it's midnight over where we're at, it's 9 o'clock somewhere, you know, somewhere else. So the time
when you do schedules, you have to like take into account like what's the main time, prime time in America or in the Japan or in Europe. And also, what kind of games do they like there? So you can keep it around 24/7, but you need to know what's good at different spots.
Nah, absolutely. Oh, did you say? Let's see, who's in? Okay, yeah, tournament of some kind. Yeah, it's very cool. Let's see, what do we got going here? So
so the guys to the right are 3 of the 4 founders or creators of ESA, and the guy in the sofa is like a game producer, Paradox Interactive, who makes like Vampire the Masquerade games and I guess Pillars of Eternity and other games. So I like 2 weeks after release, I can get the games for free from him because we know each other so well.
That's a good.
You can't get them on release, but 2 weeks after it's okay. Then you can get it.
Dang, dude,
for free.
That's a good person to know.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a lot of people like that that we know of that we are probably gonna talk with in the future for future events and stuff.
No, I think it's great. I think it's so cool seeing the scene start. I mean, one of the things you have here that not everyone that we don't get to see too often is like the infancy. Here's where things are starting to happen and start to grow. Like this is going to be ESA in a year. Like that's pretty crazy that's you guys are all hanging out there right now.
Yeah. And in that summer was so bad. The weather was bad all the time. So me and Progen, we had to watch that movie, King of Kong. And I went to documentary movie making. So we went and watched that documentary. So me and Krippe, who went to the same class, we watched that. And then I talked with JN because I remember we were like 18. We were hangover. And he started playing Zelda 2. And he beat it like in 2 hours, no sweat. And I started talking with him. Why don't we get to like world records in this? And we didn't know SDA at this time then, of course. But Twin Galaxy was like the real official one because of the Guinness and all that stuff.
They were legit. At that time period, they were like legit.
Yeah, for sure. And so we submitted times there. And also, that's going to be the reason why I made him meet the world record holder in Zelda during the first ESA. And he won, of course. That's why he started continuing speedrunning. He told me that if he would have lost that race, he would never continue speedrunning. So it's just a fluke that he won over the world record holder.
This might be my first time ever pressing Twin Galaxy. But look, you still have some. Your time's still
but
there.
This is like the PAL version. Like the PAL version is like 17% slower.
Right.
It's like we live in Poland, so we have to buy stuff from America to be able to compete at the right times or right speed.
All this extra stuff.
It kind of sucked.
Do you have to get a? Do you have to get an NTSC TV as well, or can you play it on?
No.
Okay.
That works fine. Like
cool.
all the TVs work for NTSC. It's just that the games or the console didn't work at that speed.
But
so
your times are still up there. This is crazy.
This is like I put in some effort, like 0.5% effort. You know?
Right. No, absolutely.
We had to start somewhere.
I gotta agree with you on King of Kong. So when that came out, that's when I first became aware of like competitive retro stuff. To be honest with you, like that, I think if I think back to it, that's probably where I started to consider and check out speedrunning stuff, because that was a big deal. And it's unfortunate that these guys have been, all of them have basically have been accused and pretty much convicted of cheating. So it's a little shattering. But because at the time when this came out, it was so impactful, because it was like, oh man, those are my games up on the screen there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we should have one of those documentaries, but for speedrunning sometime in the future, hopefully.
There's people working on.
Me and Krippe went to university for years, so we could probably do it, but you know, we have other stuff.
It's tough, and there's there's not a lot of money in it, so it's like you have to take time, all that kind of stuff. So
I know. Everything goes to charity. I don't think I made any money doing speedrunning at all, even if I'm partner on Twitch and la la la.
Okay, and that's okay. Do you mind if we touch on that for a second? Because that's one thing I've noticed about basically any time I've ever seen you associated with, outside of like watching one of your PB videos, it's always associated with some kind of charity. Why is that kind of thing important to you?
Especially when it comes to cancer. In my mother had cancer like twice, and she survived. Her brother died. My grandmother, her mother died from cancer. So it's been like, at least Awesome Games, like personally for me means a lot. Then there's other charities and stuff. You just want to show that you're a good person and you want to help out. So we've been to a lot of random charity events in Sweden. That's not primarily speedrunning events, it's just charity events.
Yeah.
So we've been all over the place, you're speedrunning for charity. And it's been for like saving children at war or whatever. We've been there like so many times. I think that's one of the reasons why I got like awarded like Hero of the Year in Swedish gaming like 2 years ago, for my work with that, like helping out everywhere I could, pretty much. Not only our things, but everywhere in Sweden, pretty much. I
mean, at this point, you've been associated with like over millions of dollars being raised, between the GDQs and the ESA. I mean, everything that you've done. I mean, we're going to go through some of them. It's crazy amount of money. And that's one of the things that I love about the speedrunning community, is specifically you and people like you, that this is like, there's something bigger than us just playing games as fast as we can. And that seems like it's something that's been important to you as you go through this.
Yeah, and the same, like Progean's mother had cancer, Cot Power's mother died from cancer, so we are it means a lot to us, to be honest.
I'm glad you do it, man, and I'm thankful that you're doing it, because...
it's not just me, but all of our crew has been like, very involved of it.
That's personally. So cool. I mean, like you guys, that's a common interest, right, between all you?
Yep.
That's so cool.
For sure.
Okay, so this is the gaming community again, hanging out, playing games.
Yeah, this was the first time we actually met Druvan and Liftan and Cot Power, but he wasn't known as Cot Power back then. I managed to get Cot Power and Arva to race Super Metroid, but Cot Power became too good, so Arva had to drop out at the race at the first ESA, so Cot Power had to do it solo. So these guys are from like Skövde, like in the middle of this area, but they are from different cities around the area. So this is the first time we collectively get together. And so they were like world record holders in Double Dash. Cot Power had started playing like Super Metroid, and we also all came together for the first ESA, pretty much. So that's the main crew, all of us here, pretty much. And I was the one who took the picture. So
nice. So you're not in it. That's of course, right?
No.
Quick question for you. This is coming from the chat. Junkar Dave is asking: does Frezzy Man still speedrun? Is he still?
He does from time to time, but. I might say it now. We are planning to host a speedrunning marathon next year, and him and TMR are probably going to do a co-op of Contra in that marathon. So I promised TMR for several years that he always talked about Freshman. He wants to meet Freshman. And I said, whenever we come around, we're going to do that. We were planning on having a marathon this year, but Corona.
Right, exactly.
So you have to wait until next year, whenever that is.
Okay. Because I have seen him at ESA. Was it last year? Like I've seen him around a little bit, but I'm not sure if he was still speedrunning and all. So that's awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah, he speedruns from time to time.
Looks like you got some local coverage here in
Yeah, so this is like the newspaper, and that was the first article about the ESA, but it wasn't called ESA back then. It was called like Swedesh Speed, the first marathon that we are planning to host. So the first part of the article is about those two being cousins or something, and they have been beating each other in the double dash for several years,
right?
Since the first release in 2003, I think, and that's about charity. They like the community of Ledendi is gonna start a charity event in Skövde, and that was ESA in the future, but it wasn't called ESA then. It was called Swedes of Speed because Fresman was the Swede of Speed and Swedes of Speed, like plural. Stuff like that.
Nice.
Then of course there were like international people who wanted to come. Then we had to change that, of course, because it was just our group in the beginning, and all also Swedes, of course, like Sweden and stuff.
So I'm going to edit these into the actual podcast version of this because there's a bunch of cool ESA clips, and I guess let's do?
I guess the first one and the second one would be nice. I don't know if you want to show that one.
Let's go back way back because as this is planned,
those two at least we can show.
I'm gonna mute it so we can talk over it a little bit while it's happening. Tell us, how did the idea for what did you want to? Why did this first event happen, and what was it called? Take us through it.
Remember my crew from the university? Like we went and we got to know Fresman. We didn't have any plans of doing a marathon back then, but we were sitting in Arva's apartment where we came up with the idea that okay, they are doing marathons here. Why can't we do it here? And we started talking, like me and Arva. And then we decided, okay, we can do this. And then Krippe came along. And okay, we have this idea that we want blah, blah. We started talking with Krippe, like we three. Then like a day after, we booked a time with Fresman because we understood that, okay, we have the goat here. At the moment, we have the goat in this town. Nowadays you can talk about the greatest of all time, and, you see him ripping his shirt off here, just in the video.
Oh, there it is in the video.
Talking about him.
Nice.
You know.
Perfect.
So get Frezzy is like the pun here. I don't know. Whatever. So a couple of days later, we booked a time. Me and Krippe went and talked with Fresman at the University of Skövde, and we told him we have this idea of we want to do a marathon, and he said, okay, fine, I will post it on SDA. And that's how we started pretty much. But there's more thoughts about it because we have been watching it, and he was at the first marathon, and so it felt natural. And he was like, without Frostman, it wouldn't go the way it did because we had to have like a superstar, the GOAT or whatever at that time. With him, we could get everyone to join us.
Yeah,
that they could, and it was fairly successful. The first ESA was really nice, to be honest. And Yoko Dexter, I raced him. It was really nice. So all of these guys came.
It's cool to see like how many of these people were in the area and able to come together to do this. Yeah. As you mentioned, it's also great to hear that there are some really important people that went along to make it actually happen. And yes, because of what Frezzy was doing with his speedrun, but also the fact that he cared enough about the community, like he, to bring this together. And
actually, I think he took it on himself to be like the main organizer.
Oh wow!
For the first one,
crazy.
So the trailers, I made both of those, so it's pretty nice. The K2 is a really nice guy from Sweden as well. He's really good. He has like the world record in Adventure Island still, I think.
How about your speedrunning time? What are you running at this time, and did you do any runs at the first one?
I mostly I did hosting and stuff, but I did Mario 2, I think. Like me and Dexter raced Mario 2, and I did North and South. I did like small games, like smaller games. Like I was more involved in the actual planning and stuff. So this story with Arctic Eagle and Pro GN is nice because Arctic Eagle had the Twin Galaxies NTSC record and Pro GN had the PAL one. So I got my best friend IRL in real life, Pro GN, to race him. And he won, of course. So he started speedrunning as well. So continue speedrunning.
Not to geek out too much, but I would say one of the reasons that I ever tried speedrunning in the first place was because of Pro JN and watching what he did with Zelda 2 at, was it Which GDQ? Was 2015, I think?
Yeah, 15. He played at the first. Yeah, 15, 17, and 20. Yeah, he was in the Zelda relay as well.
He just, I love that game. I still love that game. It's one of my favorites. And to see somebody destroy it like he did.
Yeah, he was a natural. Like, even before we started speedrunning, I knew that. I told him, like, you should get a world record in that game. Because I remember, like, when we were young and he could beat it, like, with no effort at all, pretty much. And also, it's a nice story that he beat Zelda 2 when he was free, like in 1989.
How?
Yeah.
How did he do that?
Like I beat Mario 1 when I was free. Zelda 2 is a whole nother level, pretty much. So
that is crazy.
Yeah. So that's the one thing about him that's really, really special.
It just looks like it's easy for him, which makes me angry, of course, as a speedrunner, that he makes it look easy.
Yeah. No, Zelda 2 is like one of the hardest games.
It's so ridiculous.
So it's really impressive, for sure.
Junkyard Dave in the chat, who's a really good speedrunner himself, says Dexter and Batman for him was what encouraged him to try some of that on himself. So I mean, that's the kind of things we see these runners, and they're the people who inspire us, right?
Yeah. So Dexter and me goes way back. Also, I remember like one of the best times I ever had watching him and Funkdog like trading the world record back and forth, like in the early days.
Yeah. I mean, that's
that one. I want to show you that one.
Please, let's do it.
So this run is actually really good. If I'd done this like 3 years later at Awesome Games 2016, I would have won big time. So I had a timestamp. So if you can go there,
why is the timestamp?
I'm gonna win this race. Don't worry about it.
1741.
But 1741.
Cool.
It's gonna be like what Dexter does there.
Oh, is this the right one?
Oh no, it has to be.
Oh, there is no timestamp on this one. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You tell me where you want to go.
Towards the very end, at least.
Yeah, no problem.
Somewhere around there. So Dexter's gonna make.
Oh, you guys are really close.
A free window trick there, a free frame window trick. So yeah. So this time was really good, like 10-11. I would have won at the Awesome Games 2016 with this. So I was good even back then. But the most important one is what Dexter does here.
Wait for it. So if you're not familiar with, first of all, watch SMB2 run US. They're awesome runs.
Yep.
It's a great game. It's one of the games I'd like to actually try running at some point.
It's the hardest NES game when it comes to Mario's, for sure.
It's got so much going on. It's just fun. And it's so different than all the other Mario games.
Did you see that?
What the hell just happened? What did he do?
Yeah, he did a free window trick that makes the wart fly away.
I've never even... How did he do that?
Yeah, it's a free window. It's a free frame window. So he made it like free frames. You can
wow,
do it
that's insane.
So
I'm gonna watch that one more time.
That's why I wanted to highlight this run with me and Dexter. Like we have been racing a lot this game, and I had the world record and stuff. But yeah, that three frames.
I don't know if I've ever seen that in a marathon ever.
The funny part is like Andrew G does this in the first classic games done quick as well.
Does
so that's
he?
why
Okay,
we know
cool.
it exists.
Got it.
But he, Dexter is one heck of a speedrunner.
Yeah, he's crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for sharing that. That's so great. Let's see.
So,
what other fun ones we got in here? Got a cross you. Okay, Tampa. Maybe we'll. I guess let me ask you this. So ESA. If knowing it nowadays, a lot of us in the community kind of feel like it's kind of grown into this like GDQ type thing. It's like one of the biggest events out there. It's just it happens to be on the European continent and not here in the States. Did you have any like when you started this thing up? I mean, you mentioned the charity thing. Was that part of it? Like, what was the idea to get to have this kind of event and start this whole thing up?
It was just like having fun, I guess.
But yeah,
doing something for charity. I mean, we didn't have too much thoughts about it. Like, we just wanted to do something on our own. It was really nice.
Okay, I gotta see this. We got a Mario Kart Wii. This is awesome.
Yeah. So ProGian is... He can speedrun a lot of games. So this Rudmarker guy is the brother of Druvan, the Mario Kart Double Dash world record holder. So there's a lot of family stuff there. And the guy in the brown shirt is Karel. He's like the world record holder in Super Mario Kart. I think we have videos of him later when I was in the couch, and that I really want to show you that. It was like the best run I've ever seen at the Games Done Quick.
This game or a different run?
A different run,
okay.
Like in the future, I guess.
Which one do you want to see? We can go.
We can go down. It's down there somewhere.
Okay,
I don't want to talk about that, unfortunately.
Okay, no problem. I think that was the last of the ESA
I think I have like DreamHack. No, I mean down there somewhere.
Let's see, where did we put it?
I think I have like DreamHack is like a Swedish event. Our ESA is a Swedish event. I think it's Games and Quicks is further down.
Oh, it's GDQ
at the
run.
very end.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, because I want to come back and talk a little bit about Best of NES and some of those things.
Of course. And there's a lot of.
We got to show this here because I think this is great. I mean, this is what it is running an event.
Yeah. So me and Krippe and we were working crew. I did audio, he did the video stuff.
And I think most people know these things. It takes a lot of people to make these things work, but a lot of times it's people sitting behind computers and boards and making sure the stream stays up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, me and Arva went to Spain last year, so 2 people can do a really good world-class stream if they want to, but it takes a lot of effort.
It takes.
We've been doing this for like 8 years now, so now 2 people can go to Spain, not knowing a single word of Spanish, and still do a speedrun marathon. So.
That is wild. I didn't realize that was Karua in the background there. That's funny. With Crip. I'm sorry, with Crip. My apologies. Let's see. Okay, so where are the GDQ runs?
I think they are in the bottom of the list here. So there's a lot of... Yeah, exactly.
Other games than Quick History, maybe there?
I think it's up one, if I'm not mistaken, like other speedrun. No, go down here somewhere, I guess.
Okay, we'll figure this out here. Here we go. Yeah, this is the AGDQ 2015 run that I was talking about.
Yeah, I think it's like in the bottom of this list here, like a bonus thingy. Like, I tried to compile as much as I could.
I know, this is great.
Yeah,
bonus, here we go.
Yeah,
okay, let's take a look here, folks.
This one. This is the best speedrun I've ever seen live.
Super Mario Kart by...
Yeah, so this is like awesome games. There's like 100,000 viewers, and I'm sitting there in the couch because... They love me for some reason. I don't play this game. They just wanted a guy there, so they wanted me there.
I don't know how you feel about this, but Mario Kart is one of the most craziest competitive games I've seen, and I'm glad to see it show up at marathons because for some reason I just don't feel like it doesn't have the number of runners that like Mario 64 has, and Super Mario World and all those kind of things. Because these are really skillful runs that these people are doing on these games.
Oh dear God, yeah. And it also is like a natural speedrun because it has a timer.
It's right, exactly. It's set up for it.
You don't have to care about like in-game time, like at the GoldenEye and stuff. You know exactly what millisecond you need to beat to get the world record and stuff on every single level.
Exactly.
So, and it's been that they have like their own homepage and stuff, and it's been competitive ever since the early 2000s.
I'm glad to see that because it's totally set up for it. And
so I just want to show you like the very ending here because it's the most clutch I've ever seen ever. So he gets hit there by Luigi, so he loses his lead, Karel. So this is the last lap here. So watching this is like the most impressive thing I ever seen live, ever. So this is like, yeah. They finished like 6 frames apart.
Holy
after the whole game.
Whoa. That happened so fast.
Yep. So it's like 6 frames apart.
They're both in first place.
Yep. Oh, they are playing like all cups, but
Oh, right, that's right, yeah. Wow.
So but they finished like 6 frames apart.
Holy cow.
After 30 minutes or whatever. And I watched it live there. So, I mean, it's the most impressive stuff I've ever seen is like from the Dutch and the French guy. Oh.
So cool.
So I just wanted to show you that.
No, thank you. That was totally worth it.
I mean, it's the most important stuff I've ever watched, pretty much. Oh.
Let's do this. Before we get into the best NES stuff, real quick, let's talk a little bit about your running because So you're a former world record holder in a bunch of games, but let's talk SMB2 for a second. And you had the US and the Japanese version. Were those at different times, or did you ever hold those at the same time?
Never at the same time. I had Mario 100% at the early 2012, 13 or something, and then in 2014 I had like all the levels, and then 2016, 17 I had like the lost level one. It's different times. Like I like some people get the world record and they want to improve it. I get the world record and I just drop it. I'm done. Next game or something,
Well, if you don't, I mean, those are competitive leaderboards. There, and I'm curious what it is about those games that you decided to grind for. Like, what was it about that run that made you pursue it and to grind out a time like that?
Oh yeah, it was just the pure luck. It was the first game I started speedrunning.
Really?
And also, I started talking with Andrew G over Facebook back then. And he said, "Oh, I'm gonna show you something." So he made a video of the first stage where you're supposed to like blow up a wall with a bomb. And he said, no, you just fall down here. You use 2 enemies and you fall down here and you save like 8 seconds. And I was like, speedrunning. So he made like a video of that just for me, so I could beat him. But then obviously he beat me back like big time.
Oh, that is so cool.
So he made like a personal video to me, like because blowing up walls isn't cool. He showed me like that trick when you do it like in the last part of 1-1, you like zip through the floor instead of being. Yeah, he showed me that, and I was the first one actually implementing that. You know, it took me a couple of days just to get the rhythm. It's like a very, very finite amount of time they have to do that stuff on. Obviously, Cool Kid now has the world record and stuff. But yeah.
And he was grinding hard.
So it's always been like, people have also been so helpful. Like, oh, you want to learn this game? I know a trick like this or like that. There's never been someone who has like been holding out like, oh, I know something, but I'm not going to tell you.
No.
You know.
Oh, and I was also saying,
just.
It's nice that, you know, the game you're talking about. I mean, like, so when I first got into this, like, I'm like, man, there's hundreds of people, there's almost 1,000 people who have submitted an SMB 3 times. So it's a little intimidating, but to your point, man, like everyone wants to help you, you know, like everyone loves finding new strats and sharing the information and stuff, you know?
I mean, I started speedrunning Mario 3 and Mitch was in my chat writing.
Right.
So, you know, so everybody helps out each other pretty much. So it's one of the things that makes speedrunning and the community really, really good. And then there's always some like stupid drama and stuff, but like 99.9% of the community is really good.
Absolutely, and there's thousands of people. There's going to be some people who don't get along, who don't agree with each other. You know,
that's
just
true.
It's the way it's going to happen. But for the most part, overwhelmingly, you see the positive rise to the top, and I think that's the good thing.
For sure.
I know we're hopping around here a little bit, but you were involved. The best of NES is if you're listening to this in August or September, the Big 20 just got announced, and so a lot of people are grinding it out right now. And you were around for the first one. How did you get involved? Like, how did this come about?
Oh yeah, it's pretty simple. Like Bad Break came to me. I have this idea they want to do. I was like, okay, I want to get all the world record holders in NES. Okay, let's do it. And at that time, like I was like the man in charge of a lot of different stuff. So he went to me, and it just came together like this. I was like, okay, if we're gonna do this right, he said to me, we need only the world record holders. I was like, I know people, so I talk with everybody. Like I talked to every single one. Like me and him pretty much went, you get the world record, join us. The Japanese players and everybody will just join us. And it all came together. And Dexter and Duo and those guys and Fiesel did the tech. Man, I still think that's the best one. Like we got every single world record holder pretty much in every single game. Just by asking them like personally.
There's something really to that, because I think, like, I remember this was about the time I just discovered speedrunning, and there was something about this first event that caught on with everyone because it's super popular. I mean, they pull in good view numbers, all that kind of stuff.
It was like 6,000 viewers or something.
It's crazy, right?
Upwards.
And it's
for online marathon, it's
online.
Really
it's, you know, once again, there's no money involved. There's
not at all.
And that's like, it's literally people just want to come together and show off their games and hang out with each other. Like it's one of my favorite events to watch. I don't run a lot of NES games, so like I've never submitted for it or anything, but it's really like a thing where it seems like a fun hang. Like everyone's just really friendly and loves to talk about their games and that kind of stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, some people need to know that you can do speedrunning for fun, just not only for world records.
It's not only for world records. Totally, man.
So everybody seems to be about like the world records, but you can actually have fun and learn like parts of the game and have fun.
I want to share a little bit of this because this is kind of crazy. So, I had never heard of Asterix until I watched you run after you showed me this.
Oh, yeah.
What is this game?
Asterix is like the biggest cartoon in Europe. Give me a moment here.
Yeah, no problem.
It's this guy. I don't know if you can see it, but this guy is Asterix and this is Obelix, like the biggest cartoons in Europe.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for that. I've never seen those
based
before.
On that one. So it's like Asterix and Tintin are the biggest cartoons in Europe. So I have this because I love Asterix.
So did this game ever come out in the US?
I got the world record during this. Like I've been practicing a lot, and I got the world record during this marathon with like 4 seconds or something. So it's really nice.
That's wild. I mean, if you're gonna do a world record, do it at a marathon, okay?
Yeah, for sure. And it's the best of NES, so why not? I mean, So it was fairly optimized, I guess, back then.
I wanted to do. Have you returned to the game since this run?
Never. Like I said earlier, like I got the world record. I'm done. Halo. Halo means bye in Swedish, by the way.
Oh, okay. There you go. Nice. So it's cool. So the reason that you even picked this up in the first place was because of the cartoon. You know, it's something that you're familiar with.
And I had this game on the shelf, and I gave this away to TMR because he has like this NES collection, and this is like PAL only, like only in Europe, I think.
I was gonna ask. Okay, so it was only European.
So I gave away this cartridge to him. So I don't want to play this ever again because the controls are. I mean. It's like the worst game you can ever play. Like the controls are horrible and it's slippery and you have to like force every single movement. Like you have to. So yeah.
Well,
so I was happy with the world record and I can just move on.
Nice. Well, let's see. We'll skip ahead a little bit here. We can actually see the time pop up. It looks like a fun game. I don't know. It would look like a fun run to watch. I don't know how fun it would actually be to play, but
it was no fun at all, to be honest. But yeah.
What a cool way to start off the first best of NES.
Yeah, for sure. And it was. I love that marathon. It was so great.
Very cool. Okay. Let's do this. Let's keep moving through here a little bit.
Then we have like.
Oh yeah, Mario Metroid
would be nice. Oh yeah. So 2015, 2016, like me and Kirby Master like started the Metroid Marathon, and I hosted that for like 2 years. And Code Power. He lives in the next town to me, one of my best friends now. Mm-hmm. He was the world record holder in Super Metroid for like a couple of years. Like him and Garrison and Sosti traded like world records back and forth. So it was natural, like, why don't we do a Metroid Marathon? Yes. With all the games and all the speedruns and all the races.
Have you ever speedrun a Metroid game yourself?
Never. It's... I find it really hard, like doing like volumes and stuff in Super Metroid, and having one of my best friends being like one of the best people. Like it's the same thing with Pro G, and I don't want to play Zelda 2 because I can't be better than him anyways.
Yeah, why bother?
I mean, I can do it for fun, but I've seen every single part of the game like thousands of times now. So
the thing that I love about this and also but Metroid in general is that I've never tried speedrunning it myself, but it's one of my favorite runs to watch. If you ever tried a Metroid game, you know how technical the things that they are doing. You know, there's all the, especially the Super Metroid. I mean, it's just insane the amount of LRing and everything else they're doing while they're doing these things. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a top 3 speedrun for me for sure.
Oh yeah,
probably the most complicated one for the Super Nintendo for sure. Then after that, I guess it's Yoshi Island, but Super Metroid is on a whole nother level. Dude. You have to use every single button, even those two, and oh, nice.
I didn't even understand like how they could do that. I'd see an input display on somebody's stream or whatever, but then when I actually saw it live and in person, everyone's got these weird grips, and they're just
he uses his thumb to do some weird stuff.
Oh man,
I'm not gonna do that.
No.
And I have small thumbs anyway, so it's not my thing. But Code Power is really nice guy, so
cool. Okay, and then I think we have some ESA. Okay, yeah, we were scrolling through some of these ESA pictures. This is cool.
So that's me and Dexter like practicing for the first ESA there. It was really nice.
I'm curious, for a first-time event, how did you guys get a venue? Like, that's pretty crazy to be able to have it at a place.
The venue, Ludendi, the gaming community, like this is where we hosted our weekly meetings. This is like in the middle of Skövde, so we could borrow it. We had to pay for it anyways.
Sure.
But yeah, so we could borrow it, and so we had like internet connection. We had like a lot of different rooms. There was not too many people there. Like ESA 2015 was in the same venue, but it's so much larger than you can see on this picture.
Right, yeah.
So I think it can fit like 1,500 people or something. Yeah.
That's nice to have access to that, even if you had to pay for it. I mean, it makes the whole thing just feel like a real big.
We
big
might
thing.
use this in the future for like a smaller event. So why not?
It's cool. It's cool seeing all the TVs there and everything.
Yeah, and here you see like Nisse and Krippe working with the stream and stuff, and me. I'm probably gonna do a stream. I'm over there to the right, I see.
Yeah, you're there. You're in the back.
So this is like the first. The setup there, and Eden Oliver was really nice with the tech stuff. It was really nice, to be honest.
So we talked a little bit about here we go.
Here's the group picture.
Oh, look at that.
It's out of focus.
No.
Like every single picture from this group thingy is out of focus, but whatever. I know who all the people are, so it doesn't matter. Like Tompa is in the middle there, and Carcinogen actually came all the way from the United States. There, he's like lying on the floor to the bottom left, I guess, like the Resident Evil runner. He was like our big foreigner there.
Made it all the way.
Yep.
And let's see.
There's a lot of people that.
Oh, sorry.
No, you can go.
Okay, we'll keep going. There's just. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so the guy to the left there is Arctic Eagle. He had the world record in the NTSC Zelda 2, and ProG and my best friend had the Paul one. So I got them to meet each other, and because ProG beat him at the first ESA, we decided to have a rematch at the next ESA.
Nice.
And there's a lot of people in the background like Kripp and AM, the French runner to the right there is really nice.
Oh, nice.
Great guy.
So you guys there were people from outside of Sweden making the trip and everything.
Oh yeah, that's why
really
we
cool.
had to change the Swedes of speed to ESA, like the European part of the, like you had to include like all of Europe. And this picture I love because there's Freshman, Tompa, me, Dexter, Cotpower, Klosty, Rodner, like he had the world record in like Twilight Princess or something. So all of these people, like I don't know if you see that guy over there is in RPS, like the world record in Majora's Mask. So.
Oh my gosh.
All of these guys are like the best in Sweden, pretty much.
And you, by the way, busting out the tie, going total professional.
Oh yeah,
there.
and I had long hair down. For sure.
And then
this is the banners and stuff. This is the first edition of the logos for the event. Like in 2012, we didn't have a logo; we just had the name.
Right. Oh. Which is a great name, by the way. It abbreviates quite well. It's ESA and everything. Let's see, what do we got?
And here, I don't know. This is like we're drinking and having fun at the ProGN's place. So the thing about having like marathon in your hometown is you can hang out at different people's house. You can hang out at my place, ProGN's place, Kripp, whatever. And so this is at ProGN's place, and it's you can see Bad Breaks there, topless.
That has to be Bad
sitting
Breaks.
there. So everybody was practicing there, and then obviously we went to the venue. So and here we started using like 2 streams there.
Oh, nice. So, okay.
La Ludende was like the communities thingy, and ESA was the one I made just to have 2.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's cool. Who made that? That's a cool
I don't know.
drawing.
I think it's Seth Charlion, the guy to the right there, did it. So this is like back in the day there.
So cool.
Very nice.
So tell me a little bit, what exactly is DreamHack, and how did they end up with a speedrunning event, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh yeah, DreamHack is like the largest, what do you call it, like digital festival, like LAN. There's like 10,000 people like hooking up their computers together and playing against each other, like Counter-Strike and all those games.
Oh wow, okay, gotcha. So a big, larger gaming community.
Yeah. So now they are all over the world. So I know the people who host those events in. I guess it's Canada and the United States now. Like No Reset Marathon is really nice people. So it's all over the world now. So like last summer we did one in Spain, like a DreamHack event. It was really nice. It started out easily. I just went on Twitter about, do you want speed running at your event? And they were like, sure. And that's how it started. I mean, you don't have to be shy. You can just be like, hey, you want this? Okay.
Okay.
That's all I needed was just to ask them about it, and they said okay. So I don't know if you could. Yeah. So this is like Dexter, and everybody was there. It was really nice.
If I can touch on that for just a moment, because you said something pretty important there, that almost every time in this podcast, when somebody has done something that hasn't been done before, quite often it's, well, I just asked. Like, I just took a step, and you never know what's going to happen. Folks, in this world, you never know what can happen from just asking about doing something. This looks like a huge event, and did you want to have speedrunning? Sven, why not? Ask somebody and see what the hell you can get done. And that still blows my mind. It's so simple.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Like, and in the next picture, you can see we had like the big stage. We got that stage.
Look at that
can fit like 1,200 people. I
wild.
think it was like 200 people in all of the audience. So yeah, me and Freshman played there. He got lucky always when he races me. He got no hands. I got like hands. I was in the lead also, so that's.
I did watch that video, and the RNG there was just totally in his favor towards the end of that
like
run.
Always.
Oh my gosh, it was must be nice. I'd rather I'll take lucky any day over the week over skill. By the way, I'm just letting y'all know. Okay, I don't mind.
Yeah. And yeah, this was like the living arrangement. Like me and 2 other guys were living like in a closet somewhere or something.
Nice. That's so funny.
You just took what you could to sleeping. Oh, here's the big part. Like the next event, we could actually get some very important runner like Narissa. I don't know if you can call like her old name, but we got Narissa to come, and I was like, hey, I'm Swedish. Who are the 3 best Ocarina of Time runners that we have in Sweden? Okay, they have to face her. And so they did. Yeah, you know, that's why all those 3 guys, like Jordan Stone, he ended up winning like twice over Narissa. I think that gave him the fuel because he got the world record like 2 weeks after that. Like,
oh, really? Okay, wow.
New Year's Eve. And this was when Narissa said like, OOT is dead, any percent is over, la 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 la.
Little did
and then Jordan beat her ass, like a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks later. So,
and
so
I think
it's fluke. Like he won twice of the world record holder and be like, I can get the world record maybe. Just like Progean and the Arctic Eagle, he won the world record holder, started speedrunning more, got all the world records in Zelda 2. It seems to like a coincidence, but
yeah. That's so cool. So that was like the inspiration. Like, I mean, that sometimes you need that kind of kick in the butt to go try, to go grind something. So
yeah, and I'm kind of weird. Like, you have the best one in the world. Who are the best Swedes? Let her face those guys.
I love that idea, man. That's so smart. Well, I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, in all reality, the thing about a speedrunning race in real time or RTA is that anything can happen. Like literally anything can happen in an RTA speedrun. That's why a lot of us grind it at home, doing rep after rep after rep. So I think that's such a great idea, linking this whole thing up and hey, put him against the best in the world. Why not?
For sure. And I think this was a time where IQ, the weird Japanese, the Chinese console was the go-to thing. I don't know if you see it, but it's like a weird N64 console.
Oh no,
that they are using.
What the hell are they using?
Oh, so it's called like an IQ. It's
oh,
like a
yes,
Japanese
that's right. Yeah,
or Chinese.
Yes, I know. That's yeah, right, the Chinese version. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because I have a Japanese N64, but it just looks like a normal N64.
Oh, exactly. So I think this was the Chinese, like they had already built in a couple of games.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was the fastest one at the time. That's crazy.
And and here we have like 2018. The guy in the middle, in the front row, is like Torje. I think he had like the Ocarina of Time OOT world record done, and we have the Dutch super crew. And the guy to the far right is Mooney. He came all the way from Canada to join like a speedrun event in Sweden.
So cool.
So it's people just want to come as long as you just ask them. They come from all over the world. Please. Going from Canada to Sweden just for a small event is pretty ballsy.
If one day when we get to go travel again, I've already asked the wife. I'm like, hey, you want to go to Sweden? Want to go to Europe? There's video game events there, and also we can use it as a reason to go on vacation.
Yeah, do it. Oh
no, but I mean, I think it goes back to your point that like just host an event, and you never know who's going to show up. And Classic Games Done Quick is a great example. Look. Frezzy man, this guy a couple thousand miles away comes and shows up to your event. It's you never know what's going to happen sometimes.
Oh, that's true. And yeah, this is the last one that we made in like the last summer. But then of course Corona happened, so we don't have any gigs at the moment.
Right, this is the thing. We're all shut down.
This is pretty ballsy, so we went to Spain and hosted that. Oh yeah, awesome games. Nice.
Let's talk GDQ a little bit. When was your what was the first event that you personally attended?
We went there 2015 and forward.
So the whole crew came with ProJN when he was doing did anybody else have any runs in?
Yeah, we stopped doing ESA events and going to Games and Quick instead. So it's pretty much So it's nice. Oh, he's like the best speedrunner I know now. So why not? And he's my best friend, so Well, I mean, I got into speedrunning. So
had you been to the States? Like, was this your first trip leaving?
It was the first ever, to be honest. He had been to Canada before that to do like a local NES marathon with Mitch and Insult in Toronto, but he'd never been to the United States. So,
dude, that still floors me even more because like this is the first time you're traveling over the ocean. You're coming to do this. I mean, the fact that folks, if you haven't seen it, maybe I'll even put a little bit of it in the podcast because. I gush a little bit too much about it, but the run is just, I've never seen any, like, he makes it look so easy and he's just so good at it. The run's just awesome.
For sure. And here we have like practice races between me and Just Defend and Whitman.
Like, of course, you got the.
And this is from the actual race. I mean, I could have won that race, but I game overed first. I didn't know the other guys would game over afterwards as well. So I resetted it and showed off some fancy tricks that I invented, like wrong warps and mouse skips. If I just had continued, I would have won with like a minute. I didn't know that everybody would choke. So I was like, okay, I game over here. Then I reset it. I'm going to show off some neat stuff. Then both those guys also got the game over. So I was like, nah, I could have won if I just kept going. And all my friends was like, why didn't you keep going? I was like, thank you.
This is what happens. The heat of the moment, you know, the whole thing.
Oh, so that was nice.
Hey,
and,
Big John.
Yeah, Big John. He actually hosted like one of those bring people to Awesome Games events. That's why at that time I was unemployed, so I didn't have money. So he did like one of those marathons, and that actually made me be able to go and play. So I'm thankful for him.
Dog Developer in the chat says, "Lesson of your story: don't give up." That's very true.
Yeah, that's true.
So John's the reason that you actually got to this age.
Yeah, he hosted one of
cool.
those bring people to Awesome Games. Like there was like 4 or 5 people who needed money.
I gotta tell you, man.
So he collected money and he made me able to get there. So I'm deeply thankful for him.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt because that's super important. But I love that we raise so much money for the charities when we're there and everything. But one of the things that I love about live events is the people helping each other get there. Like this happens so often. You see people. I'm trying to raise a few $100 for my buddy to make sure he gets there and does his run and everything. Like it's just it's really the community supporting the community. It's pretty awesome.
The thing is, I think it's like. If the 1% getting people there gives 100% to the charity, as long as they're just there doing their thing. So it's like it's a good investment. It's not people getting rich or anything. You just be able to get the trip and be able to be there.
No, I completely agree with you, man. It's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, let's keep going down. What do we got? Oh, here's the.
Here's the Lack Attack and all those guys. This is like a Mario crew.
Mr. Cap,
like
Ost Blues. Who else we got here?
I remember the Swede. I think Akisto. There was like 4-player race on 96 exits at Super Mario World, and I had this front seat there. It was really nice. Akisto, the Swede won, obviously. Yes.
I love that this is man, I just love this stuff. This is why you folks, if you ever, I know it's expensive to go to live events. It's just, there's no way around it. Especially, I mean, if we ever get to have one again, they're just expensive to go, but this is the reason you go. Like you get to all these people are passionate about the same thing you are, you know, like they're all into your game. It's so cool. Oh, you did some sightseeing while you were there.
Yeah. I mean, I can't justify going to America and just staying at the hotel, so I have to do some sightseeing.
Absolutely.
So this is like the English, Dutch, and the micro guys. Well, if you're like 40 minutes from Washington D.C., you have to go out and actually visit Washington D.C. in my opinion. But I can't just be stuck at the hotel like for 7 days in a row. Dude. At least when you have something to watch.
I'm glad you did. DC. It would have been a waste of a trip if you didn't get a chance to go out and go check out some of this stuff. It's kind of the bummer that AGDQ is not in DC anymore because there's not the sightseeing stuff in Florida right now.
I think Orlando was pretty nice as well.
Oh, I loved it. It was great. Don't get me wrong. It's a way better venue, but it's.
I hope they're gonna keep it. I heard that they were gonna be there as well. So hopefully fingers crossed that they're going to be there for several more years.
I'm actually, so I do a bunch of volunteering for GDQ, and I don't know if we're allowed to say. I think they announced that it was going to be there again anay this year. They had already booked it.
I heard it already from like some crew.
Yeah.
At whenever it was in January. So
if we ever get to do this again, God, I hope it happens at some point because this is the best part. I mean, just hanging out with people.
Pandemic thing.
Isn't it? It's like it's so isolating for us, all of us who like to get together and do this thing. Okay, so
yep. Oh, this picture I love because this is like we did like an 90% relay as a practice before like the all levels relay. So this is, I love it. Like this Derby and all my heroes are here in the same picture, pretty much.
Dude, Sven, I got to tell you, this is one of my. This might be one of my. It's definitely in my top 5 favorite runs I've ever seen at a GDQ. Is what you guys did. This is the one that you did, right? You were doing SMB 2.
Yeah, okay. For sure. I did Mario 2 with the Derby and those guys.
I think the VOD's in here, right? We got to show the VOD because it's like.
I had the VOD.
Is that another speedruns? Let's see. Maybe it's up here.
Games Done Quick History, I think.
Games Done Quick History. Okay, we got. If you're not familiar with this, you need to watch the entire run. But we'll show some of the highlights that happened to Sven here.
Yeah, I had so bad luck with the console, so it wasn't even funny. But
You're right. It wasn't funny, and it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, to be honest with you. And
so right here, the tech guy is like, "Does this look okay for you?" I didn't see anything wrong. I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go, let's play."
It's a relay race. You want to get going.
Yeah. Now look at my screen here. I have to do this for 3 worlds.
He's on the bottom left, folks.
I don't know if you can see it, but every like half a second, it turns black on my TV like that when I start playing. Like, but up. It's like a heartbeat. So in the stream, you don't see that. You see like disturbance and stuff, but you don't see the TV going black like bop.
Like your screen is literally blank. You can't see anything.
It's like that.
Oh my god.
So when I start, I mean, it looks pretty nice.
Right, it looks normal. Okay, yeah, that's right. You had to wait 60 seconds before you could start the run.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it. There we go. Okay.
You see that?
Yeah, that's the stage select screen, folks. Check this out.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. So it's like the game had like a heartbeat, ba-bum, like that, ba-bum, ba-bum.
What the hell is going on?
So I had to play, I played like this for 3 worlds. I mean, I think between us 3, I'm the only one who had a world record at one point. So I guess, you know.
And if I may put this in a little bit of context, this is already after the best Super Mario 1 runners in the world have done their best job to try to get to, to hand it off to SMB2.
Yeah. So yeah, my nerves are like 110% now because it's like bop, and the TV starts becoming black. So you don't see it here, but bop.
But I mean, that's you need to see the screen for some of these. I mean, like these are you have to clip at a certain frame and everything. I mean, this is like really tough stuff.
Yeah, so that trick when I went down the floor was the thing that Andrew G taught me in like 2011.
Oh, it's so cool. That's
he made that
right
video
now.
just for me, so I was the first one implementing that strat. Now there's different strats with bombs and stuff that Cool Kid is doing. But you can see that it's like all distorted.
Look at, I mean, and this goes on, and
so if you can go to like 3-1, I think that's when the game really wants me dead. So it's like
skip around here a little bit to 3-1. Oh, we're still in World 1. I don't
so yeah. So you're performing at the biggest event ever, and
this is Mario. So I mean, there's I don't know for sure, but there's got to be over 200,000 people watching at this point because
it was a lot of people watching.
Yeah, I mean, this is plus look at the place.
Not only do you have nerves that you want to
there.
perform well, you're in a team, so you want to perform well, then this happens. And for me, it's like a bomb. It's like a heartbeat. Like the TV was going black. Like did it. So you see distortion, but I see like that black screen. Did it like a heartbeat? So this is 2-1. But if you go to 3-1, you can see like all the screen goes black. So at least you know what I was watching all the time when I was playing.
Folks, if you're watching this too, like you realize, look, Sven hasn't missed anything. Like he's still, I mean, he's doing a speed run right now. He is grinding at this thing, and you can't see your screen every 3 seconds.
I don't know if you can see it in the background, but Grand Pooh Bear is like complaining, like, hey, you have to fix this stuff there.
It really sucks, yeah. This is crazy.
Oh, maybe do I get this star kill? I'm not sure. Wait, don't.
No, I wasn't gonna stop it. I just wanted to do.
I got it. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you did get it.
There's like a 0.2 window that you have to do. Okay,
is that
nice.
all? That's all you get.
Now you can go forward.
Oh, I mean, so I'll just to spoil it, folks. You should watch the run, but at some point they're all gonna pause at the same time, and it's an awesome display of sportsmanship. But the fact it doesn't happen until like World 4 or something, right?
Yeah, it in the end of World 3.
World 3,
then
okay.
They started like freeze the race, and then I can.
I gotta tell you, this must have been hell for you. But like when I was watching this, I was like on the edge of my seat. Like this was one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. Like this is just crazy that somebody could do this.
Yeah, I mean it was so weird. I never played under these conditions ever.
Right, this didn't happen in the practice room.
You've been the world record holder, so you know what to do. But if you don't see what you can do, this screen is going weird.
How much kind of practice do you put in? Did you put in before you even got here to play to this point? Had you been grinding?
This time, not too much to be honest, because my mother had cancer, so I wasn't really 100% sure that I could go. So. Like 2 days before I got to know that she was alright, that the cancer was gone, then I could go.
Oh my god!
So I had like one of those. What do you call it? When a person is supposed to play instead of you.
Alternate.
Oh yeah, exactly. The alternate was on like on hold. That If I can't go, then you have to jump in or whatever. But then my mother, thank God, she went well and she didn't have cancer anymore. So, so then I could go.
And, you know, that kind of thing comes up too.
So all the practice I actually did, like I felt like really bad during those months.
Oh man, yeah, you're not even 100%.
No, so I did it like on site, like 10 to 12 hours a day.
Oh jeez, just grinding away.
Like family come first, but then yes.
No, I'm glad. You know, that's something. So something that's come up on the podcast too. There's only been a few people that I've spoken to on the podcast that do speedrun or that stream full time or whatever. A lot of us, this is like our, this is what we just enjoy doing. It's our passion type of thing. And so I'm always, it blows my mind how people find time to execute at this level. And that's a really interesting story to hear. I'm first of all, I'm glad that you put your family first. That's like, that's always got to be the thing. But then the fact that when you got there, you took it seriously and you grinded your ass off.
Yeah, of course. Like I was there, everybody was sleeping or partying. I was like sitting all alone in the practice room like for hours. And I remember Darby coming up like 6 a.m. Hey, are you still here? I was like, yeah, of course. I can't let my team down,
Okay, there's some good comments in the chat here. Dog Developer, this run is the ultimate form of this has never happened before.
Yeah.
So true.
Oh, man. My nerves were so...
yeah, so true. It's basically a half-blind speedrun. That's exactly what this was. I mean, you might as well put on the blindfold at some point.
And as you can see now, the game is getting worse.
Right.
So I just want to show the next stage when it was like the super worst. Like the game wants to die or something on me. And I think the crew also understood that I can't go on playing like this.
It's unreal, right?
So I'm really happy that I managed at least beat this game in like doing this like in 3 worlds at least.
Look, you didn't miss. Literally, that's the way the speedrun at the time is supposed to look. Like that is an optimized speedrun, dude. It's blown. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I know I do small mistakes, but okay. Now you're gonna see what I saw. I think everything is gonna turn black here, like that. Like did it?
I don't know if you guys ever tried to figure it out, but was it the cart? Was it the console? Do you know what was the issue?
I think it was a combination of both, to be honest. But the crew guy was like, "Does this look good for you?" And the stop stream was like, "Yes, I can play this." And then as the first input was, something is very, very wrong.
Did the whole team play on the same NES, or would they?
Yeah, we played on the same NES, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because they're all RGB modded, so that probably makes sense. They're probably they were the GDQ NESs.
Oh
man. That's a good fight.
This was the worst stage by far to play because everything was like, blah.
I appreciate like what you mentioned, like that you were grinding it out in the practice room to prepare for this run, because there are a handful of people who do that, who like this is the chance, and they want to take it seriously. And I think that's one of the things I noticed about this relay race in general. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, like they did this really cool selection process, and there were team captains, and it was a really cool way to do a relay race. And it was obvious everyone came prepared, because these are like the best in the world playing their games. And so like the fact that putting it all together and then for this to happen, I was just like, oh my God, like this is brutal.
Oh man, it was amazing. And the camaraderie and everything was really nice. Like everybody was so friendly, even our competitions, pretty much.
Right, yeah, I mean that's the whole thing, because you all love Mario, like that's the whole thing, right? This is your game, so.
Yeah. So on the next stage here, I'm used Luigi, so I'm gonna do a frame perfect trick that blows the mind of both Darbian and the Lack Attack.
Let's see it.
So there's a GIF that they made like a after Summer Games video. Then you see their reaction of me doing this trick here. This is coming up soon. So Darbian is now talking with Lack Attack about this trick that I'm gonna do, and it's very hard. It's like frame perfect. It's coming up in this room here, at the very end, at the very top, I guess. So it's frame perfect, and you skip like a part of the stage by doing that. That's why I'm using Luigi compared with the other guys who's using Mario here. Because then you have one shot of making this trick here, and I managed to do it live
with the screen still going crazy, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. Soon. Yeah. So if you jump at the right point, that this screen goes upwards and land on the door at this right frame, you end up at the top.
Oh,
here.
dude, I totally forgot about that. Holy cow.
Yeah, so I managed to do this, and there's a picture. I think I posted it. You see like attack and Darby be like, yeah, and like attack is being like mind blown. So I'm happy that I made that one, because that's the only reason I wanted to use Luigi, because I could get one shot, one opportunity to do that trick. So you save like 3-4 seconds just by doing that.
I'm glad you went for that, because I think that's one of the things that makes a good GDQ run is going for those crazy tricks that nobody has ever seen before. Like, this is a game everyone remembers from their kid, playing as a kid, and I'd never seen anything like that. I totally forgot about that. That's such a cool trick.
Yeah, that's why I loved watching like Trihex, because he's more like a flashy runner. He does all the weird stuff.
I understand, I've done, let's see, 3 runs at GDQs now, and I totally understand like being marathon safe, like so the run doesn't come to a complete end. But I think there is something fun going for those risky strats, even if it costs you a few seconds, because like that makes it exciting. And then like that's the kind of thing we get to see there. And then here's where we did there's a full pause. Everyone let you catch up, which this is the ultimate sportsmanship here. This is so cool.
Yeah, I heard like every single time I heard like Grand Poo being like, you need to give him like a fair chance of winning or playing or whatever.
It's totally unfair that you were playing with like a disadvantage that nobody else had to deal with, right?
So now I can warp to, I guess, 1-4, so I can be on the in the same footing pretty much.
Right, exactly. You worked back to exactly where you left off. That's the whole thing.
Exactly.
Like, there wasn't any ground
That's
game.
why after 3-3 is perfect, because you can go from 1-3 to 4-1, and then we can continue like doing the race.
If you haven't, I know the whole run is over 3 hours long, folks. It's totally worth it. I recommend it. It's top notch running, great commentary. The whole thing is just really good. Yeah,
man. Especially watch like I guess it's Just Defend when he's playing this game. He gets like weird. But 1 in a million RNG on certain bosses in Mario 2, and there's a lot of other people who does crazy stuff all through the different games here.
So wild. Okay, I want to show some of those pictures, because I think you're totally right. There's some really fun images from the event itself, and we were almost there. We go.
I think I have it like in age-wise, so it's 2017, I guess.
17. Okay, so here was the wrong one. Here was the that was the practice room as we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
And then, so let's, that's cool. That must be one of the GDQ pictures.
Yeah, I love this picture, because you see us 3 playing, and you see the crowd in the background, and you see everything from the crew point of view, pretty much.
So much fun.
And here is my favorite picture of all time, representing Sweden.
That's such a great picture.
Which is now my username on Twitch, by the way, which is nice.
I'm going to ask you about that before you go, because I'm curious about that. Because first of all, I love that I think we should be celebrating this international representation that we have at these events, and I love that you bring it should feel like the Olympics. Why not? Like these are our big events. Let's play it up. I love that you're representing your country and everything. It's so cool. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go.
That's the reaction of that frame perfect trick. This is supposed to be a GIF here, but you can see like attack being like mind blown at least. So it's cool to see like a world-class speedrunner being like impressed.
So Lack, in my opinion, is one of the greatest speedrunners that has ever speedrun stuff. He destroys games, and it's funny because to see him get this excited about it, you must have done something, and that's that frame perfect trick, because he's not an easy one to impress sometimes.
So him and Darby was impressed, and that's all I wanted to know. Like
that's so cool.
Became warm.
So cool.
And here's the group picture, of course, of most of us.
Just a who's who of world record holders at one point or another in Mario games. I mean, it's kind of unreal.
Yeah, I think Cosmic has the world record now, if I'm not mistaken, in Mario 1 at least. Oh.
Okay.
And here is like future events and stuff at Awesome Games. And there's Garrison, really good Super Metroid runner back in the day.
So cool.
And here's Tecate, we did a race on the side for I guess it's like the NES block. So I did Luigi, he did Mario, and I won that race. So I'm happy about that. So I know I can get the world record back in Luigi present in Lost Levels, but I'm gonna do Mario 3 first, get a good time in that, and then go for world record in Lost Levels.
I've considered running Lost Levels and I wanted to try the Luigi because it looks fun and interesting and different. What are some of the differences between that and playing as Mario?
He's more slippery. He's harder to control. His jumps higher, and there's some other like finite stuff that's different. But that's about it. but it's you have to do like frame perfect jumps and stuff.
Always fun.
Get the world record now. If you want to get the world record, you have to play it perfectly pretty much now, which I'm gonna do in the future sometime.
Hell yes, Sven back on the grind. Okay, I love it.
Yeah. And there's my best friend of all time, like Pro GN. He won the like I was in the Mario relay, he was in the Zelda relay, and he won. And every single time he's done like 5 of these events now, and every single time he's done races like 3 or 4 times he's won. So if you want to bet money, bet always on Pro GM.
I gotta tell you, man. So like I don't see Pro GM streaming very much anymore, and I don't know if just a rare occasionally here, and there.
I mean, we hang out like every single week pretty much, and we do stuff, but we just don't want to stream. No reason to stream it. No, I'm totally down with you. But I mean, whenever we're gonna do our thing here in the future, then he's gonna come. He will be back and probably be streaming more.
It's cool that like you don't have to be showing your grind every day or whatever. Yeah. And when he showed up for AGDQ just this year, like he still did great. Like it was a great run and. It shows you that I think the guy's got some natural
he's
skill.
A natural, and he didn't practice too much before that race.
Okay, I officially hate him. He can, whatever.
Yeah, and this is I collected like all my heroes. I collected like autographs. I don't know if I'm the first guy doing this, but I got Michael Yamas and I got everybody that I knew of. Not yours, unfortunately.
Didn't know each other. I literally just met you at AGDQ. So
there's more pages in this book that I can have for future events and our events in the future. So it's gonna be nice.
This is another thing. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
So there's a lot of people that I admire here.
Look at all these.
So it's nice to have like a memorabilia of all those guys.
I'm glad you do this because it's one of the cool things that, and everyone, if you ever attend a live event, because we're all like into the same games, you can literally walk up to anybody you want and just say hello, ask them for an autograph, talk about your game. Like it's really the most welcoming and friendly environment and maybe, I don't know if that's just my personality type, but I've always felt like it's cool to just go up and meet people that you have respect for, in their gaming and stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to be shy. Everybody's so friendly. You can just go up to someone you admire and be like, hey, this is me. Love your work or whatever. Dude, and they'd be like, yeah, nice. Let's talk.
Sven, there are these are all, I love everyone that are signed this thing. This is awesome. In fact, a lot of these people have been on the podcast too, but like, this is like, not to just pimp my own stuff, but this is so cool. You got all these people. This is wild. That's so cool.
Yeah. And in that book, I'm in a picture of that book, and Freshman is like he's been mentioned like twice or something in that book. So it's so nice.
Cool. And of course,
and of course, there's a lot of partying in Games Done Quick. Like there's Bear Breaks and Dexter to the left, and TMR and URP and other guys.
Yeah, there are.
And Philsoraptor in the orange there. So
one day I'll have to have somebody come on and share some stories from GDQ and hotel rooms because I don't know if we want to share any of them, but it's fun. I'll just say it's fun.
It's really fun, but you only hear about the bad people.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like all the drama. There's like 99.9% of all every people know how to handle liquor and
I don't know.
Have a good time.
Was it Friday night where everyone was partying in the courtyard area and it was
I love that.
Totally
like,
friendly.
Like
went on all night.
Yeah, it was like this open fire and open bar, and then people was playing guitar by the fire. It was so nice, and everybody was so friendly and happy.
It's what you would expect, or it's what you hope from the community, like being able to all hang out that way and stuff. It's very cool.
Yeah, hopefully it can be like that always. And here is like one of my heroes of all time, Sosti, with my crew.
So cool.
So yeah.
So cool. Such great memories.
And here is like random Swedish events that we made over the years.
Scroll through some of these. Are great. I love that you guys have so many events out there. Like it's I mean, right now nobody has any events, but it's nice that it's great to see that there's a community and there's a scene there. It's
we host them in weird places. Like this is some festival in Gothenburg. Like it's actually for culture, but we said like gaming is culture, and they were like, yes, of course. And here we have like me, Dexter, and the Cool Kid, Linkus and stuff doing a charity in Stockholm for some event.
I gotta say one thing. I gotta say that. Because you only, most of my time when I see somebody, I see them on their stream, and you just see their little head in the box or whatever. Oh. Cool Kid, I was so surprised he's so tall.
He's super tall. Yeah.
It was a little bit of a surprise. I was like, oh my gosh.
And here's like a schedule from some random event we did at some random place.
That's so cool.
I mean, if someone wants to speedruns, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be hosting it.
That's great, man. I'm glad. It's cool. I think it's great that you've done so much.
And this is like, we created like the Swedish Esport Federation here at one point. I guess that's why in the future I got the award, helping out with charity and stuff. So it's not the ESA, but all the different charity events all over Sweden. We've been there, like, and everybody knows me. And you want to like get speedrunning all over the Sweden, pretty much, in all the different events.
So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about, because have we gone the gamut here of speedrunning? I appreciate the European perspective because it's not something I'm too familiar with. I was able to join ESA this year because of it being online and stuff, so I was able to do some runs. But you recently you were posting about it on your social media on Twitter about coming down and getting diagnosed with COVID-19 with coronavirus.
Yeah, it was awful.
What I mean, were you in the hospital at some point? This is pretty crazy, man.
I was at the hospital at one point. They did like blood tests, the scanning of my lungs, and all that stuff. It was not fun at all, to be honest. It was one of the worst experiences I had in my life. So you had like fever and you had like cough and breast pains. Other people that got sick, they like fainted and stuff. I didn't, but I had a hard time walking, and it was awful. Like you had 3 headache at once, and you had to. I don't know if you have do you have like Alvedon in your place?
What do you call it?
It's like Alvedon. I don't know. It's like whatever killed Bruce Lee. What you call it, like pain releases, whatever it's called. I had to use like 8 of these every day. Usually you use 1 a day, so I had to use like twice every 6 hours. So I had to use that for a couple of days to keep the fever down. I mean, it's not something you want to have. It's not something you want to have for sure. And it was awful. Like 4 months afterwards, I didn't have any taste. I didn't have any smell. So eating a salad, eating a pizza tasted nothing. So it was like, I mean, now I'm fine and everything. Now I can taste and smell stuff. So I'm happy. But we have a different way of doing stuff here. The government doesn't believe in masks. I used mask because I wanted to protect the cab driver.
Right.
So we have a different. We want to get as much people with Corona over as much time as possible, but as long as like the hospitals can take care of it without being overwhelmed. We have a different theory in Sweden, I guess. All the other people want to isolate. We just want to have like smaller crowds getting affected all the time. I don't know. Like this, it's weird. Like Sweden has a different system.
And when somebody actually gets it, I mean, I got to be honest. I know we had just met at GDQ, but you were one of the first speedrunners I saw who had gotten it, and it had affected them. And I got to be honest, like it felt more real seeing somebody who I had met actually come down with it and have a real thing do it. And I know it shouldn't take something like that for something to feel real, but it did. And I was like, my immediate thought was like, oh my gosh, I'm always going to be okay. And it's. We want to do something to help, but as of right now, we don't have a cure. We don't have a vaccine or anything like that. So there's not a lot we could do to help people get through this,
Yeah, I don't know what to do, to be honest. Like we have scientists, I guess.
Right.
Swedish scientists have a different idea than the rest in the world.
And some countries are disagreeing with how to actually isolate and all that kind of stuff.
They're talking about second waves. I don't think we're going to have one because the more I talk with people, the more people have had it.
Right.
So I think they want the youth to take the hit, so not the old people are gonna die. I don't know.
God, I hope that's not a real thing, right? It was a really
painful experience.
I hear you, man. I hear you. It's my heart was with you, dude, and I'm glad that you were able to get better and to get over it. But it did not look the way you were describing it. Did not sound like a fun experience.
It was no fun at all, to be honest. It was like a top 3 worst experience in my life. For sure. Like the first time I went to Awesome Games on Quick, I think I had like pneumonia. Like I think I never felt so bad in my life. And we got food poisoning when the first time we came to America. First time we ate at the hotel, we got food poisoning, pneumonia and food poisoning at the same time. It was like,
that sounds awful.
It was awful. It was the worst time in my life. Also the best time in my life because I had to be like sick in the hotel room for like a day, and then I could go out and join the other people.
Do your thing, right? Okay, well let's move to something a little more positive as we start to wrap this thing up. You mentioned future events here, and if you don't mind talking a little bit, I think we touched on it a little bit, but what exactly is what is the future for you and perhaps your crew and some of the things we're going to see from you?
Yeah, we actually had plans of doing like a event. We changed the Ludemdi account, like our community account, to Speedrun International because we wanted like just focusing on speedrunning. So the thing was, we had plans of hosting a speedrun event this year. Obviously, it didn't came to fruition because of COVID. So in the future, hopefully, we're gonna have like a small event for like 3 or 4 days. It all depends on how many people who wants to join us and stuff. But it's gonna be like the original crew from ESA and other people. Like I know that I promised TMR that he could do a co-op with the Freshman. So at least that's gonna be one thing that we're gonna do. Because he always talk about he wants to meet Freshman and he's the inspiration and he's gonna be in Contra and stuff like that. So we're just waiting out this storm, I guess.
Right.
So it's gonna be next year anyway. So hopefully it's gonna be good.
How about for you? What do you want to do with your speedrunning next?
I just want to get good at Mario 3, get the world record back in Lost Levels in Luigi. After that, I don't know. I guess hosting the future event, like the Speedrun International thing. That's about it. And I know that all the other people are gonna join us when it's decided when it's gonna be and everything like that. We're also waiting for like the OSSC Pro to be released so we can like use all the consoles at once.
Oh heck yeah, man! Oh man, yes, absolutely. He's released the plans, but nobody has a product yet, do they? That you can buy yet or anything?
No. So so in a weird way, it's actually good for us, and we can wait it out and hopefully. That will be released sometime when we host our marathon next year. I can't see it happening this year, to be honest. I can't see anything happening this year, to be honest.
Well, I really do mean it. I'm glad that I'm thankful. Like, let me just put it that way. That people like, I think, some of these community events don't happen without people like you and others, because it takes a lot of people. It's not just it's rarely. But I mean, it takes a lot of people to put something on like this. So thank you for everything you've done, and also for sharing some of these stories, because I think it's fascinating that it's pretty cool. It's like, hey man, we wanted to do this, and we started doing it, and that's I think a big takeaway, that if you want to do things like this, if you want to build a community, just go do it.
Yeah, I mean, just go to the guy in charge and ask them if they want something, and mostly they just say, okay, let's do it.
Why not?
Or just come to me and ask me, and I can help up as much as I can if you want to learn how to start doing marathons or whatever.
Speedrunning community in action right here. Hey, if you're interested, come talk to me. Like literally.
The same is I work like as a salesman at a retail, and there's a lot of children that wants to start using Twitch, and I said, just ask me, and I can teach you how to use like OBS and stuff like that, free of charge. I mean, I just do it for being friendly, and I represent my country, Sweden. So maybe in the future they can be like world record holders in other games. You never know.
You mentioned
like children who is 8 or whatever.
Well, and speaking of that, if people do, I know you stream European times because you're in Sweden and everything, but where can people find you? Where can people find your stream? You mentioned, I know you've changed your screen name a little while ago.
Of course, twitch.tv /Sweden, I guess. So I was awarded like the Hero of the Year in Swedish gaming in 2018. And I know people in the government, so I asked Twitch, can I get the name Sweden? And they never really give people access to country's name.
Right.
But for me, they did the first time ever they gave it to me. Because I have the, what do you call it, when people talk good about you and stuff like that.
I rarely swear on this podcast, although I encourage people to swear on the podcast, but I rarely do. That's fucking awesome that you're able to do that. That is so cool.
So I mean, I wanted to show like old movies from like the 1910s, but we have like a weird copyright stuff in Sweden compared with you. Everything over 90 years you can show for free, I guess.
That makes a lot
in
more
America.
sense.
We have like the state owns everything here.
Right. That's it. But that's, oh my God, that is so rad. I had no idea. That's how it that would happen. That's so cool, man. Well, then hell yeah, you got to take advantage of that.
I mean, Svenne actually means Swedish person in Sweden. So
okay.
I guess the next, because nobody outside of Sweden understand that, but using the words Sweden, everybody knows. Oh, and they always, every time I say hello, about the entire country of Sweden says hello. About okay. In every single chat that I visit, they're like, oh, the entire country is here.
Before we went live, I got to tell you, man, like before we went live, I have a couple cousins that live in Sweden and they have kids, and even their little 3 and 4 year old daughters can speak really good English already. Like I'm blown away by how everyone's almost seems like the entire country is bilingual at least, if not more.
we have to learn English from the age of 6. And
6. 4. Oh, okay, maybe she's 5 or 6, but I was blown away. It's crazy.
But like my nephew, he is like 10. He knows like English better than me, but he watches like YouTube all the time, and I guess this more like an international world now.
Yeah,
I guess I'm one of the first generation who actually got to learn English from like a fairly early age.
Oh.
But now he knows way better than me, and he's like 10. So.
I'm super thankful because it means we get to have this conversation. Like, you know.
Yeah, I want to apologize if my English was lacking or something, you know.
Your English is probably better than mine. I still struggle with it. So. But excuse me, I really do appreciate all of your time and my lack of understanding of time zones, apparently, because I can't figure out how to get this thing. So I appreciate you giving me the time.
We had to change like this thing like twice or 3 times.
I couldn't figure out what time it was in Sweden and what time it was here.
When you said 11, it was actually 1 in the morning here. So it's like, whatever. We managed to get it working.
We did it.
I'm really happy that you invited me, and I love this like long form interviews. Dude. Usually it's been like 3 or 2 minutes interviews, like who are you, la la la, bye bye. I love this long form. I'm gonna recommend everybody I know to start watching you and hopefully join you in the future.
I'm gonna take just a quick second to talk about it, because one of the things I love at Games Done Quick or any other live event is when they do the interviews with the speedrunners, and admittedly they're doing they can't last longer than 5 or 10 minutes, and I was talking with Spike Vegeta. He's been on the podcast too, and we were just chatting before the interview actually happened. And I'm like, he's a super interesting dude. He's got we had common interests, and I'm like, we need to have more of these longer form interviews, because speedrunners come from all different walks of life. They're all over the world, and I just want to there's got to be a way to share some of this, and that's kind of the whole idea for the podcast. So I'm glad. Thank you for giving me the time for talking.
Man, it's amazing. I mean, I really appreciate what you're doing here, and I hope more people take the opportunity to join your podcast.
Thanks everyone for listening and watching. If you're enjoying the podcast, subscribe, leave a review. All those things go a long way to helping out the podcast. If you'd like to continue the conversation, I'm on Twitter @LatMackey, or you can also join the LatMackey Discord, where we have a sequence break channel. We talk about guests, we have questions. It's really interactive, really fun. Please feel free to stop on by. Thanks so much. See you in the next one.